Yes.
Welcome to our regular meeting of council in person and live streamed electronically Tuesday, March the 3rd. Our announcements: the Alto High Speed Rail Open House will be held on March 4th at Perth Lions Club, which is tomorrow. There are 2 sessions, 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. You can also learn more about this proposal and submit your feedback through their online portal. Interim tax bills have been sent out, and the first installment is due by March 31st. If you have not received your tax bill by mail or email by March 13th, please contact the office. Half loads are in effect and are necessary to protect the roads, which are at risk of damage from the spring thaw. If you have any questions, please contact the Public Works Department. The Municipal Elections Act requires all municipalities to establish a compliance audit committee before October 1st in an election year to address possible contraventions of the Act's election campaign finance provisions. If you are a professional with accounting, auditing, or legal experience, and you are interested in applying to be a member of Compliance Audit Committee, please contact the clerk for further information. There are a few spots left for an Easter-themed paint night on March 18th. If you are interested, contact the Township Office. The cost for 55 plus and Seniors Active Living Center members is $15 and $30 for others attending. Breakfast with the Easter Bunny is scheduled for Saturday, March 28th at Rosedale Hall from 9 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. There will be a face painting, a balloon artist, photos with the Easter Bunny, crafts, and a pancake breakfast prepared by council. The cost is $7 or $5 for children 12 and under. Join us for a bus trip to the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Ottawa on Wednesday, April 22nd. The cost is $5 per person. The bus leaves Rosedale Hall at 4 p.m. and is scheduled to return around 11 p.m. Contact the Township Office if you are interested. So our land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that the sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We'll have a moment of silence on this. Thank you. To move by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that the regular meeting of council agenda dated March 3rd, 2026 be approved as amended to add item 10D under in camera, namely Smith Falls American Library negotiations. All in favor? And that's carried. Disclosure of interest now at any point in time during our meeting. Moved by Councillor Abbas, seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that the minutes from the regular meeting of council dated February 17th, 2026 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? That's carried. Do we have any business arising from our previous minutes? We have no delegations or deputations. So our first report of municipal officers is Clerk Planning Manager Christian Cote, please.
Thank you, Chair. So the report that you have before you this evening might look a little bit familiar. So on February 17th, a report was brought to Committee of the Whole with 3 proposed election-related policies. There were amendments being proposed for each of those. And Council did approve those changes through resolution at the Cal meeting. Since that time, staff have had some conversations with respect to the policy for election campaign materials, specifically relating to election signs and the impact that they can have on municipal operations such as grass cutting, spraying, ditching, gravel application, and things of that sort. Also, several county clerks have advised that they have policies in place that restrict the period of time that campaign signs can be placed. One municipality allows them after Labor Day, and 2 municipalities only within the 6 weeks prior to the election being held. So staff are proposing to amend the policy that was brought to the February 17th meeting to indicate that election signs would be allowed after the close of nominations, which would be 2 p.m. on nomination day, and that would be August the 21st. That's the only amendment to the policy that was brought to the meeting on the 17th of February. Are there any questions? No. Still allows for substantial amount of time. 6 months is a long time to have election signs out. If people are eager and want to get them out on day one, so.
I was the nomination day before, I think there was one, I think most of them usually didn't go out to before that, but
So,
I did have it in writing, so yeah.
yeah, Chair through you. So we did have some issues, in the last election with having to move signs off the road allowance for gravel application, things like that. So that's the reason why we had a discussion to change it. It will interfere. It interfered at the last election. So, and I apologize, I didn't catch it whenever it first went. And Kirsten wasn't part of the last election. So, but there was interference and it was a problem. So that's why we're putting.
No, it makes sense, yeah.
We've also seen where some of the other municipalities have just recently passed the change as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So moved by Councillor Crabtree and second by Councillor Johnson, that council approve the revision to the election campaign material policy attached thereto as appendix A. All in favor? Carried. So our reports of committees. Moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll, seconded by Councillor Bass, that council approve the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting dated February 17th, 2026, and the recommendations contained within, excluding the third paragraph of resolution 24-2026, which reads, and further that council approve the revisions of the election campaign material policy attached here to as appendix E. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Crabtree, that council approve the minutes of the Montague Recreation Culture Committee, April 19th, 2026, as presented this date. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Abbas, seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that council accept the minutes of the Marysville Public Library Board meeting of January 27th, 2026 as information. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Councillor Johnson, that council accept the minutes of the East Falls Public Library Board meeting of February 24th, 2026 with information. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so we have no petitions and now we're on the bylaws. We want to speak to the bylaw?
Yes, please. So, here. So at February 17th COW meeting, the amendments to the fees and charges bylaw was presented. And since that time, staff have looked at the bylaw further and a few additional proposed amendments are being proposed. One of them being to remove cookbooks because we don't have any more. They were very popular and they are all gone. The second was to remove dishes from the list of additional rental costs. We removed cutlery, so dishes would be appropriate also, and we don't really have the means of sort of regulating their usage. And the third item was, under fire, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for it here, was to, allow for costs, associated with motor vehicle and fire incidents for residents where specialized equipment might be required, and that would be at the discretion of the fire chief. So that would be if we didn't have that equipment and we had to pay for it to be brought in, to be used, or if we incurred additional costs sort of above and beyond what our equipment and fleet would allow for, then we would be able to recoup those costs from residents, but that would be at the discretion of the fire chief. Those are the only sort of tweaks to that fees and charges bylaw that are made, and the bylaw as amended with these changes is the bylaw that's part of your agenda this evening. If council has any questions.
No? Okay. So moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll and second by Councillor Abbas that bylaw 4202-2026, being a bylaw to establish user fees and charges for the Township of Montague be read first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed this third day of March 2026. All in favor? That's carried. We have no motion, notice of motion, an action item regarding our Montague Public School media release. That came through from the Upper Canada School Board. And of course, it's great to see that Montague Public School becomes the first in Ontario to earn Blue Community School certification. So just giving a shout out to our Montague Public School and staff and the students for a great job that they've done. And we also, the water bottle that Montague did through some funds that they received and promoting the water bottles by all the students was another fabulous. Yes.
And Chair, through you, I think that's, this is wonderful for such a small school and a small area, you know, to take on that initiative. And these are things that are nice and above and beyond that the teachers are doing. But I think it's also a reflection of, you know, we get a lot of positive feedback at a board level, saying that we're one of the very few municipalities that are that involved with the school and provide that kind of relationship and funding that we get grants for. So I just also wanted to kudos to the school, but also kudos to council and staff and everybody for that collaboration, because I don't think that happens everywhere based on what the board has been feeding back to us, and they think it's wonderful. So hopefully with these types of things, it's nice to bring it back for council to see the positive impact, for the public to see the positive impact, that the township can also help, you know, with developing the young residents of the township as well.
I mean, just on that, I think it is wonderful, and it is, and I know from a perspective from the school side of it too, as well, is that the relationship that council and staff have done a great job, especially with the events that with the fire department going in there doing things. I know when Kirsten's been there with Grace doing the candy stuff too, as well, the candy draw stuff, and I mean, there's so many like positive things. That relationship is really, really amazing. And I can attest to that too as well. You don't see municipalities doing that with their schools. That's sort of a huge kudos to our staff too as well, because they're stepping in and doing that too as well. We see those pictures in the newspaper and everything else too as well. So it really is really awesome, like kind of the way it should be. Even with the recreation stuff that is being built beside the school too as well. It shows that connection, like when you have that recreation beside the school too as well. So I think it's once again, we should be very proud of our school and our township, and also with everybody, the way that we're working together too as well. Yeah, it's just great. Really good. And also on the same token, they have a new principal there at that school too as well, Jessica Dakin, that I got the pleasure to work with, and she is fabulous. And I know that relationship is going to continue to work. She just started in January. She just got switched over there. And I know that relationship can continue to be fabulous over there, because she's absolutely amazing and a great asset to that school right now too as well.
So unfinished business, other business. I know nothing, questions of our audience. Questions online. Okay, so moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Councillor Crabtree, that council recess the council meeting at 6:13 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried.
Hello and welcome to the Committee of the Whole in person and live stream electronically Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. We have the opening of the meeting with land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that this sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Ashabi Nation. The next we'll have the adoption of agenda. Moved by Councillor Bass, second by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that the Committee of the Whole agenda for March 3rd, 2026 be approved as presented this date. All in favor? Carried. You can close your interest now or anytime throughout the meeting. Delegation of deputations, I believe we have none. Now report of municipal officers. Clerk, Planning Manager, Kate Cote, revisions to delegation of powers and duties bylaw.
Thank you, Chair. So the report that you have before you this evening is with respect to a bylaw that has been reviewed in light of the upcoming municipal election. So the restricted acts provisions in the municipal act, they can create some obstacles for your regular municipal operations if certain powers are not delegated and you are subject to the restricted acts provisions, which some might know as lame duck in the act. So these restricted periods with respect to the 2026 municipal election are the period from nomination day to election day. So that'd be August 21st to October 26th. And election day to the end of the current term of council, which would be October 26th to November the 15th. So restricted acts, they're triggered when there's certainty that the new council will have less than 3/4 of the members of the outgoing council. And that determination would be based on certified nominations, acclamations, as well as the results of the election. So bylaw 3485 2015 was the main bylaw that we're dealing with this evening, has been amended twice in 2018. Once to address tax sale extension agreements and to give that authority to the treasurer, and then again to include provisions related to restricted acts or lame duck. So this document is a consolidation of all three of those bylaws into one document, and this is deemed beneficial for ease of reference. So within this document are the inclusion of some relevant definitions and a restructuring of the table that's attached to the bylaw to make it more department specific. It flows a little bit better. There is also the inclusion of bylaw references with respect to certain delegated powers and duties that are included and come directly from other bylaws passed by council. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. There's nothing new. It's just sort of cleaning everything up. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Any questions? Thoughts? No?
Yeah.
Mark? Yep, you're right. Seems very straightforward.
Yeah.
Moved by Councillor Crabtree, second by Reeve Jennings, that council receives staff's report regarding the proposed amendments to the township's delegation of powers and duties bylaw. And that council directs staff to bring the draft delegation of powers and duties bylaw as presented and discuss this date to be approved at the March 17, 2026 regular meeting of council. All in favor? Carried. We have no reports of committees. There's no petitions. No motions or notice of motions. Seeing none. Any unfinished business or other business? Also none. All right. Moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll. Sorry. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Tom. Do you have any questions? None. None? Do we have any questions online?
Not online.
We have no questions. Thank you very much. Moved by Deputy Reeve Carroll, seconded by Councillor Bass, that the Committee of the Whole meeting for March 3rd, 2026 now be adjourned at 6:23 PM. All in favor? Carried. Thank you all very much. Yeah, thank you. Great.
Clear. Welcome back. So moved by Councillor Abbas and seconded by Deputy Reeve Carroll, that council resume the council meeting at 6:26 PM. All in favor? And that's carried. So we will now go in camera. So moved by Councillor Crabtree. The second by Councillor Johnson, that council moves into closed session at 6:27 PM. As per section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001, C25, in order to address 4 items. Item 1, Chambers Street Underpass, update number 2. Item number 2, identifiable individual, consumer proposal for property owner in the Township of Bonnegue. Item number 3, Human Resources, WSIB claim update. Item number 4, Smith Falls and Merrittville Library negotiations. More specifically, 2392E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. 2392B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. 2392K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. And that municipal manager, treasurer, deputy clerk Allison Braken, and clerk planning manager Kirsten Cote remain in the room. All in favor? And